This is Sal Coladonato from The Slant, and you're listening to the BS Podcast Network.
Jumbo, everyone.
Harambe.
And welcome to another edition of the Magic Our Way Podcast. Asante Sana, everyone. You are listening to the Magic Our Way Podcast from New Orleans, Louisiana, in the United States of America. We are artistic buffs talking about Disney stuff, and this is the show in which every opinion is welcome. MagicOurWay.com is where you can find us. My name is Kevin.
And I am Danny.
And on this show, we follow the Disney concept of edutainment, where we focus on your entertainment, and along the way, you just might learn a thing or two.
Hey.
As always, so join in the discussion, we have our resident comic genius from IvoryComics.com, Mr. Eli Ivory. How you doing, sir?
I'm good and groggy. How y'all doing?
Good and groggy.
Well, welcome to the Grog Grotto.
Thanks. Yes.
Hey.
Perfect.
Happy to be
Apropos.
here.
And also, we have our resident travel agent for Magical Moments Vacations, the Shaggy TA, Lee Lastavica. How you doing, Lee?
Good, man. Good. I'm not here to podcast no trouble. I'm just here to do the Super Bowl shuffle.
That doesn't even rhyme.
You don't even watch the Super Bowl.
Man, you were waiting for that, weren't
Don't
you?
even do this.
I was like, yes, I got to put this in there.
Was that the 80s Chicago Bears rap or something?
Yes.
I want to say yes.
Yeah, okay.
With the fridge.
We kicked the ball.
Yes, exactly.
Jim McMahon. Oh, wow. Okay. Well,
He's all like, I can't wait to see LeBron James pass the ball.
Yeah.
Yes.
Greg Louganis.
Can't wait to see Pele.
Earl Campbell, my man, Earl Campbell.
Earl Campbell.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, indeed. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is a brunch recording of the Magic Our Way Podcast, and that's because tonight is the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll be catching that, and also the Pelicans are playing later today, so they'll be catching that. And
Playing Lee's Houston Rockets.
That's right. They're coming to town. Houston's coming to town, except they left Lee back in Houston.
Yeah, they took the beer with them.
Look at that. Current sports reference joke. That's really good, Lee.
Nice. Well, guys, look, we got a great show for you today. We are doing some armchair imagineering. And for today's armchair imagineering segment, we are going to take Disney cartoons and turn them into an attraction.
Well, animated series.
Animated series, okay, yeah.
Correct.
Animated series, yes, to be to more accurate.
Yes, the stuff you saw on television, not necessarily shorts or
Right.
animated features.
So specifically, usually at least 30 minutes long, is stuff that you saw on TV. Mm-hmm. Yeah, awesome. And that's what we're doing today, guys. We're about to get creative, so enough of our jibber jabber. Let's go make some magic. Ladies and gentlemen, Mohicans, here we are on the hub. And for today's hub, we are going to get creative. And we are going to create some attractions based upon Disney animated series. And as we mentioned in the intro, these are the TV shows and stuff that you used to watch on, like the Disney afternoon,
yes,
or whenever they had the Disney cartoons play, maybe sometimes in the morning, whatever. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take what we feel like is our particular attraction, and we're going to turn that into, what we feel like will be a good animated series to turn into an attraction.
Yeah.
And so, do we want to announce which ones we're doing first before we delve into it to kind of
Sure.
wet their whistle?
Well, first I want to give credit to Mr. Ivory over here for coming up with this wonderful idea.
Absolutely. Good job, sir.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you. No, I'm just trying to keep up with y'all.
One of these days we're going to have to do a show about making a show because there's so much. Oh, wow.
Yes.
I don't know if you're applauding him for the idea or my idea
Both.
I just
It's a
both.
team effort. That's the wild.
They like both of it. They like both of it.
But one of the things that we have the most difficulty with, besides scheduling, especially this week, is always coming up with new topics. And some of the best topics are the simplest. And Eli pitched this one, and right away I heard it, and I was like, that's a great idea.
What we're going to do is we're going to let you guys know what animated series we are working with, just to kind of wet your whistle. And we've chosen an order. We're going to do Eli first, since this is his topic. He gets to go first. And then it'll be me, and then Lee, and then we'll end with Danny. Bringing it home. Playing anchor.
Boom.
Closer.
Closer, yes. The finisher.
Coffees are for close.
So are Bloody Marys.
Bloody Marys are beautiful. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, here are our animated series, and we'll go right in that order. So, Eli, what are you going to be working with today?
Mine is Gargoyles.
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 Oh, interesting.
Love
Okay.
Remember Gargoyles?
I do. I remember Gargoyles, too. And mine will be, of course, and if you listen to the show often, you know how I was probably going to pick this, but this is Disney's Adventures of the Gummy Bears.
Yeah, I knew that. As soon as Eli proposed the idea, I'm like, that's a great idea. I don't know what I'm going to do, but Kevin's set.
I am set. Yes.
And that's good, because Kevin's been working a lot this week.
Yes. Oh, yes. And if you guys listen to the show as well, you know I love that show. So, and Lee?
I'm bringing Manny back.
Manny Pacquiao?
No, Handy Manny.
Mandy's handy.
About to build some stuff up in here.
Build it.
Handy Manny.
Not wait to hear this one.
Handy man.
What up, Hefe?
Hey.
I'm sure he's going to have Handy Manny out in front of a Lowe's at some point.
Yeah. I'm cringing.
The pizza Planet truck comes around. It's like, hey, we need some drivers.
Tabajo.
Come on.
I didn't think about that. I could have made the queue at Home Depot.
All the tools are just hanging out by the Home Depot waiting to get picked up. Oh, damn. All right. So, Danny, what do we got? Well, how are you bringing us home, sir?
You know, originally I wanted to do DuckTales because I grew up loving that, but I knew that if I had to do DuckTales, I'd have to catch up on the new DuckTales series, and I've tried watching that once or twice, and it's just not my thing.
Not happening,
the voices just don't sound right. So I mean, I'm sure it's great if I force myself to get into it, but there was a series that I've watched once or twice with my daughter. She'll have it on, and I walk in the room and always end up sitting down and watching it, and that was Gravity Falls.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I love that. I felt it was a more current series. I've always been a big fan of like those mystery type cartoon show, like the Scooby-Doo's or the real Ghostbusters, that kind of thing. I like that paranormal element with the comedy element blended together and makes a nice cartoon. And would really worked out well for that is that when I knew I was going to do it, I'm like, all right, let me sit down and start watching the series and make sure I see everything, because I don't want to do it based on the few episodes I've seen and then find out I'm basing it on a premise that they negated somewhere in the second season.
Right.
And it turns out it became a daddy-daughter activity. So every other day, we'd be sitting down and watching, binge watching 3 or 4 episodes of Gravity Falls. So it became a fun activity. We went to the Barnes & Noble. We got some Gravity Falls books. And she even helped me design the attraction.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Awesome.
So this is a Danny and Lillian creative design. So definitely looking forward to that. I love Gravity Falls. That's definitely, that was, I think, our summer 2019. My 3 girls we just constantly watched it. They sang the theme song.
Yes.
The oldest even made words for it. You know, it's great, you know.
I was going to say, the words, there are none.
There are no words,
It has a catchy beat. I always gives you the option to skip intro.
Da, 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 da. Yeah, it's good.
It gives you the option to skip intro.
Awesome.
We never skip intro because I just like the music. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like that with the Gummy Bears thing. I was like, I remember this theme song.
Yes. Yours, yes.
Yeah, I love it.
Say goodbye, yeah.
It was like watching Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Or The Office. I just love the little song.
Yeah.
It's quirky.
It's quirky.
All right, guys, so we're going to start back with Eli. And like he said, he's doing Gargoyles. Eli, here we go, sir.
Okay. So here's I love this cartoon.
Little mood music, huh?
Oh, yeah. So Gargoyles is the story is about a bunch of gargoyles that watch over a castle, like way back when in medieval times and such. A wizard places a curse on them, and it's like basically after 100 years they get to come to life, but they're stuck into stone. So the cartoon takes place in the present, which is past 100 years. So the catch is that during the day they turn to stone, but at night the gargoyles break free of the stone and go ahead and save the day and protect this hot cop and all this good stuff.
Hot cop.
Yeah, hot cop. Then they fight other gargoyles and other threats amongst New York City. So it's a good romp. And if you have Disney Plus, you can find this on there. It's in I think it's classics or the animated section.
It's not in the romp section?
It should be. There should be a romp section. Please file that down. Yes. You have voices from Keith David, Jonathan Frank. So
I love Keith David.
Yes. I mean, so we got Dr. Facilier in there. We've got, if you're a fan of Star Trek The Next Generation, you have voiceovers from there. So there's a lot of talent to be had. It's a hidden gem.
Yes.
Okay. So going with that, for this ride, I figured I was going to try to do a little combination of a Tower of Terror mixed with a roller coaster ride. Maybe something like the Starship Earth, towards the end of it, but
Starship Earth.
Oh well, yeah. I thought
Starship Troopers.
yeah, I thought about that. And then
You
I was
mean
like,
Spaceship Earth?
well, yeah, Spaceship Earth. It's early. Sorry. But I changed my mind and it kind of went with like a rock and roller coaster thing. But you'll understand why. So, okay.
It's 12 o'clock. It's early.
Yes. For those of us who choose to have a Sunday to sleep when needed, it is very early. All right. So what we're going to do is like when we go ahead and we're going to start with the cube, you're going to basically walk through the villain's mansion. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to see all kind of replicants from like medieval times. So, swords and big spell book.
Well, now who's the villain?
Xanatos.
I took that the other day because my stomach
Your sciatic?
Yeah, my sciatic. It was kind of a cure-all.
You okay with that?
Yes.
Yeah, the Xanatos will fix you up. Give you a little gas though sometimes.
Right,
Just a little. Just a little bit.
I almost wrote Thanatos. I'm like, that's not spelled right.
That'd be awesome with some kind of glove.
Yeah. But it had an X. It spelled an X.
Wasn't that the Olivia Newton-John song with Xanatos?
Xanatos.
I'm sorry. So
that's okay.
Xanatos is the villain.
Xanatos is the villain, and he has his castle that he's taken from the medieval time and put it like atop of his own high-rise building. And that's where all the gargoyles are located. So the riders are basically taking a tour through his mansion through certain floors. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to see like, swords and spell books and pictures of the wizard that placed a curse on him. They look like different pictures of Xanatos, in a suit.
Xanatos! Yeah, that name anymore. I was cracking up.
And, he's smiling. And, so you basically in a rich guy's house, And as you get to a certain part, you get towards the top. I'm trying not to laugh at as you get to a certain part, you're going to get to the top, and you're going to see the stone statues of Goliath and Bronx and Lexington. There's a whole bunch of them, but those are the ones that I like. So,
those are the main gargoyles.
Yeah, those are the ones. Yeah, those are the ones that I dug. I mean, there's Hudson. There's a whole list of them. But there's an assistant that's taking you through the tour. And so she explains the history of the curse of the gargoyles and how the mansion got, redone and all of that to, kind of keep you interested and engaged as you're walking through.
Does Castle Xanatos have a Xanator that cleans up after everybody?
They have a Zaid.
They have a Zaid. That's good.
Yeah, Zane.
Zane?
Zaid. A Xanator.
A Xanator.
A Zindo washer.
Yeah, there you go. That works.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sanitize for your protection.
A Zoctor. A Zerse.
A Zelevator.
Well, you get on this elevator.
A Zostitute.
Oh, well, now that's just...
Well, that's only if you're in
That's red light district of...
The Zed-Light district?
Zed-like district. Zed-like district.
Yeah.
Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead.
So you get to see, as you get to the top part, like where the ride is going to begin. It's kind of like Mission Breakout. You get to that one set of the queue, and you get ready to go ahead. And they're going to break you off into the little groups. So as they break you off into the groups that you need, an alarm goes off, and then they tell you that the tower is under attack, and so you have to go ahead and escape because they don't want you to be kidnapped or captured by terrorists of any sort like that.
Wait a minute, Hans Gruber and them are taking over Castle Xanatos?
That's right. Everybody wants Xanatos.
Oh no!
Everybody wants Xanatos.
Where's John McClane?
Xanatokic Plaza?
Yeah, Xanatokic Plaza.
I was trying to... It's not hard to get that in there, but...
Welcome to Xanatos, pal.
Xanatos.
So you get in. You get in, like I said, this is kind of like a setup for like a Mission Breakout or a Tower of Terror, where you have like that cage, but it's basically a group of 8 people, not like where it's like, what do you say, like was it 12, 20 people typically in like that seating setup. Yeah, so this is 8. It's a smaller cage.
Okay.
So all right, so they put you in there, they close it, so there's no lights in there, and so then when it pops up, you start to see like the terrorists coming in. They're like they're shooting. It's just kind of like a film.
No, they're really terrorists in the Gargoyles cartoons that break in with guns and try and...
Yeah, I mean, in the original, they're under siege a lot because
I'm gonna have to watch that again. I don't remember that.
Yeah, well, he's like
Under siege?
Steven Seagal shows up. Well, he's always in the bad
It was an executive decision.
Yeah. Yeah, he was the Glimmer Man. What he was.
There you go.
Yeah, they're always in the cartoons. Like, I mean, they have various adventures that occur. But yes, this dude is always doing something bad. He always has like some corporate raiders and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So
I just didn't remember terrorists and gargoyles. That's all.
that's all good. So but just a ride, right? So you go ahead. They shoot
Just
at
a
you.
ride.
That's it. And so then like the thing closes. You go up a little bit, and then as you go up, it pops open again. Then you see the stone figure. The music hits. The stone figure breaks. Right. So now you have like Goliath there. You have Keith David's voice like saying something cool. Like human, what are you doing here? Or something like that. So then at that point, you hear like some more bullet fire and stuff like that. And you hear the sound of this cable snapping. And then the cable snaps, the gate closes again. You drop like really far, right? So then all of a sudden, you stop. Thing opens up again. You have the video of Goliath catching the cables. And then, he pulls you upward. So it kind of goes through a sequence from there. He's pulling you while he's knocking terrorists on the side, stuff like that. You go up and down, up and down. Finally, you go all the way up to the top. This is the part where I'm kind of like, I wonder how this could work, but this is what I thought of. You get to the top of it. By that point, you see like the video of Goliath, and he's standing by, and he's like, okay, you're all right, fine, good. And then there's Demona, who is like this female gargoyle who used to be his chick back in the day. And then like she kind of went rogue on it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I hate it when they go rogue.
Yeah, I know it's tough, right? You can never get it back.
And then you go rogue with your best friend.
Yep.
And then next thing you know, like, you ain't got a best friend and a girl no more. That's crazy.
That's Rogue one more. That's it.
Rogue one more.
That's it.
But say I like Rogue. She's my favorite X-Men.
I like Don't Let It Touch It. That's what you need that Xanatos medicine for. That's what's up.
Xanatos.
That's it. Bam. So the thing is, she's the one that sent the terrorists to take over the tower.
So she's a double agent.
Yeah, she wanted it all.
Oh, she definitely rogue.
She bad. That's what guy. It's basically Demona is demon with an A after it. So I mean, you can't get no better than that. Yeah.
Wait, hold on, let me write that down.
Write that down.
Demona.
Demona.
Well, he's writing that down. So
Not like Woodlona.
That fits.
Oh, yeah, it fits.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Demona.
You put the line right between the N and the A.
Okay,
That's it.
perfect.
I mean, it's cool. I didn't make this up, but it is cool. So, like, yeah, she gives you some cool line, like, I'm going to kill you and all your little doggies, too, and that kind of stuff. Right? And so,
Chow and Margaret Hamilton.
Exactly. So now you, as the rider, so you're encased in the 8 seats, right? So the seat pushes you forward, and then it puts you in another harness, and then that harness allows you to take part of the roller coaster aspect.
Yeah, nice.
Yes. So then in that part, like Goliath's like, all right, well, we got to get her, because she can't get away after sending terrorists on you since the ride started and everything like that. Can't have that. Got to go and chase this girl down. So that's what you do. You're in there, and then, like you said, it might be like a rocket roller coaster kind of thing where you have the fight and you hear like swoop noises and flight sounds in like your ear as you're on the ride. But basically you go up and down, you spin around, you have a nice big thrill ride. And of course, boom, at the end of it, you're out of there. He's caught her. It's a whole new day when you go out. Everything goes back to stone. End of the ride.
All right.
Nice.
So now, where is this going to be? So this is an overlay of the Tower of Terror? Or are you just getting rid of the Tower of Terror? Or is this going to be putting a new theme park? Where is this going?
Oh, that's highly deep. I just liked the mechanics of it. So I guess I would just put it in like Animal Kingdom, just because of where it is. But now I wouldn't.
Why would that fit in Animal Kingdom in any
Gargoyles?
sense?
Where would you put that? Like
Mythical creature land?
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's Gargoyles is set in a city, unless we're doing Gargoyles from the past.
No, I guess it's.
I mean, terrorists in the middle of the Animal Kingdom.
What? When you saw Jurassic Park, they had guns in there. What do you think? Like what? Hollywood Studios?
You can't, because you already got Tower of Terror unless you're doing it as an overlay.
Oh.
So you're being redundant. I would say.
Okay.
What country does it take place in? Gargoyles.
It's in the U.S.
Yeah, it's in New York City or something. You'd have to put that in Magic Kingdom, I would think.
Oh boy. I always get in trouble for taking out rides.
American Adventure.
Well, the advantage is that, right? So the ride is made to go up first,
right,
and not so much out. So if you can essentially take it, and then when you go into the roller coaster part, now you can go over whatever. So I don't think that
Yeah, I tend to go out before I go up.
Yeah, I was trying to think different. I'm like, let me get out. And
That's just me. I'm just,
just let it out.
Yeah, no, when I eat, I just go out. Nothing goes up.
I'm always going up. That's especially at night. That's what made this all work so well.
Oh, because you took that Xanadu.
Exactly. Take 2 and call me in the morning.
So if your tower is up for at least 4 hours, you gotta go see a doctor.
No, call Demona.
Call Demona. This is Zostitute. Okay, cool. Excellent. Perfect.
Oh, man.
Gargoyles. I'm about to watch that. Well, nice, sir. Thank you very much.
No, thanks for having me. Hope you liked it.
I did. I'm going to have to watch it now. Especially since that's on Disney Plus, and especially since my cartoon's on Disney Plus, and that's The Adventures of Gummy Bears. I was very excited that they included that and they accepted the fact that it does have Disney in the name, and I can find it on Disney Plus. So ever since I discovered that fact, I've been watching the cartoon.
You've been grinning from ear to ear right now.
I know, because it's like, if I'm going to do this is my chance. Ever since I was a kid, I always thought the freaking Quick Coasters would be an awesome ride in Disney World. Or it does at Disney Park.
Yeah, he's been talking about this before we even did a podcast.
Yeah.
I think the first day I met him, he's like, did I ever tell you my Gummy Bear coaster idea?
Like, hi, what's your name, Kevin?
Yeah.
I got this idea about Gummy Bear roller. You need to
I was hoping I could find it for this show, but I remember when I was in grade school, I drew it out. I drew out how it was going to fit with the line and everything
wow.
else.
Cool.
On like a piece of notebook paper. I don't know what I did with it. It's somewhere in a stack of something. But I was hoping to find it, but anyway, that's all right.
Okay.
I got it all up here, man.
It's all up there.
It's all
It's
in my
locked in
head.
there, brother.
Yeah, I'm still the same being. So I had to access my files. But anyway, guys, we're talking about the Disney's Adventures of the Gummy Bears.
Dashing and daring, courageous and caring, faithful and friendly, with stories to share. All through the forest they sing.
Yes. Very good. Awesome tune. Back from the 80s, of course, the theme song. And that's the cartoon that we're talking about. It originated in 1985, and this basically takes place in medieval times.
Medieval times.
Not
Again, more medieval times.
More medieval times. Not the dinner show, but the actual medieval time period.
It's a good period, apparently.
Yes. So we got castles, we got catapults, or trebuchets. I know they're different, but whatever. And we got knights, we got dukes, and we have mythical creatures called the Gummy Bears.
I know.
Yeah, and that's what this series centers around, is these new group of gummy bears that are descended from the great gummies, so to speak. Eventually, apparently at some point, the gummy bears were considered the great gummies, and they used to fight alongside humans, and for right, justice, fairness, all kind of things. And so these gummy bears, these 5 gummy bears that are in the series are descendants from that, and they're kind of finding their identity because they're kind of far removed, and the way they identify themselves with it is with the Great Book of the Gummies. Okay, so they have a great book which has all the things that the great gummies are chronicled, all their secrets, all their ideas, all their thoughts are in this great book that can be opened only by this particular medallion.
Now, can I stop you real quick?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Now, there's probably some younger listeners who've never heard of and never saw this show, who are probably asking themselves right now, but what the hell does this have to do with the candy?
Right, right.
Because I remember watching it back then and wondering, what the hell does this have to do with the candy? And there was never a tie-in that I was aware of. Are you aware of any?
None. And he's talking about the candy, the Haribo brand candies, or Gummy Bears, which originated. They also have competitors, but there's never a relation to that particular thing. That might have been what they were part of the issue was. I mean, it did run for 6 seasons, but the only close resemblance you would have to that would be the fact that they bounced. Yeah. And then you could think a gummy bear and kind of bounce, it flops. It's
just fall over.
Just kind of
candy, not a spring.
Yeah, it's not like it doesn't bounce
falls
like these
downstairs, a loner in pairs.
I don't even know if it gets that far. I mean, you throw it in the ground, it bounces and just kind of plops.
Yeah.
I really did know. I mean, I've never seen the show, but I really was thinking it would be some. Well, obviously, I mean, Disney doesn't own Gummy Bears candy, but like it has nothing to do with candy whatsoever. No kind of candy at all. No. So
I mean, they eat candy. Okay. They drink gummy berry juice. But the closest thing I can think of is they just bounce.
Yeah, I remember watching that show, and like sooner or later they're going to get around to explaining the connection, and it just never happened.
No. I guess it'd be like cannibalism, though, if they ate the gummy bears, since they're gummy bears. I guess it wasn't too much they could really.
Or are they trying not to get eaten? Maybe. That's what I would think. Like they're on the run, during movie time, trying not to get eaten by all the patrons or something like that.
You see, if I like in my mind, what I would have thought was going on there is that gummy bears were legendary and that humans made candy resembling.
And as an homage
to the gummy bears, because they knew they were out there, but they were legendary, in the show. People knew but that's all nonsense.
Maybe that's it. It's like, does anybody know why we even have gummy bears candy?
We don't know.
That could be it.
That would be my explanation for it, is that humans... That's where I thought the series was going to go. But
they didn't. They just
humans
didn't.
the gummy bears have to go away now because they've done... Their magic is done, and they made gummy bear candy as their tribute.
Wow. And we're so far removed from that origin story that we just take it for granted now when we go to the grocery store and just buy some Haribo gummy candies.
You're right. They should have the gummy bear with a sword or something, or a crossbow.
Well, apparently one time they did. Apparently the Great Gummies kicked ass.
No, I'm talking about the candy.
Oh, the candy.
Yeah, I know they had it in the cartoon, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it would be nice if they would pay tribute.
Little gummy bear with a shield.
Gummy crossbow.
Some knight armor.
Yeah, there you go.
He's got like a machete and stuff.
Gummy guns.
Freaking M60 like Rambo with like cross chains and bullets.
Maiden gummy.
Iron Maiden, yeah. Chainmail and
Iron
gummy. Freaking net. I would buy that.
Yes, you would.
Yes, I would.
You would. I'm buying it right now.
That's what this series is all about. Is medieval times, those particular gummy bears, and within that's what my attraction is based. And it pulls in a lot of their stories, especially the first episode, the origin story, how this all came to be, how they were discovered, and particularly one particular transportation system that they had, which is what they call the quick coasters.
Those are incredible.
The quick coasters are awesome. They're basically like a roller coaster, a single man bobsled-ish type vehicle that they built an extensive tunnel system underground so they can get through the kingdom at ease.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
It's like this underground traveling system, almost like a subway of a series of roller coasters that would interconnect.
Built by the ancient gummies, apparently. So that infrastructure was already there when these gummy bears came to be.
That works out.
It was awesome, yeah. So anyway, so we're dealing with a couple of cast of characters, right? So you have the king. You have a King Gregor in his castle, and you have his daughter, or Princess Calla, who also happens to be friends or maybe smitten with this page named Calvin. All right, Calvin is the guy that's going to help us through this adventure in this ride. So basically what happens is when you enter...
Calvin is the liaison to the gummies.
Yes, that's right. Calvin is the liaison with the gummies. He's the one that encounters them. He happens to have the medallion. If you watch the first episode, he kind of explains how he came across the gummy bears. But his great-grandfather gave him the medallion because apparently his great-grandfather fought alongside the great gummies.
And he's really the only human who has any interaction with the gummy bears.
That's correct.
Everyone else thinks he's like, those things are just fake.
Exactly. And the reason, and he can't say anything about it because he swore an oath to the gummies that he would never reveal them.
Yes.
To any other human. He's the only human that the gummies have trusted. And the reason being is because he happened to be in possession of the Great Gummy Medallion, which opens the Great Gummy Book.
That's a lot of pressure to have.
Well, there's a lot of great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I was watching the first episode, and in the book, they had a message from Zummy Gummy, who's this. Zummy Gummy's this wizard guy.
Zummy Gummy?
Yeah, it's called Zummy. Yeah, we got Zummy, we got Sonny, we got Tummy, who's a fat dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? Okay.
Voiced by Lorenzo Music. The guy did Garfield.
We got Bummy, who's a homeless.
Slummy. And we got Gruffy. He's like this tough guy. Hey, I'm a tough guy. Yeah, I'm a tough guy. Yeah.
That's a pretty good impersonation, actually.
Yeah. And then we got, who else we got? We got the kid Cubby Gummy, because he's a little kid.
Sonny was a little
girl.
Yeah.
With grandma, what was the grandma's name? It was
just Gummy, because she
Tummy,
had
Sonny, Zummy, Gruffy, Grammy Gummy. Yeah,
They started with a G.
Yeah, she's the one that first said, Calvin's all right, man. We should be okay with him. Gruffy, you be nice. She's the one that kind of, has like the ruler and the nun. It's like, psh, shut up. She can control everything. Right on. And then Zummy. So anyway, back to my point. Zummy is the wizard guy. He knows he has access to the book and knows all these magic spells. So anyway, where was I going with this? So I forgot where I was going with this.
Gummy bear.
What? You end up everywhere.
I must have got sidetracked. But anyway, we'll get back to the ride. So when you walk upon this attraction, which you will find in Fantasyland, of course.
I was going to ask that.
Yeah, I was going to put in Fantasyland.
I was waiting to see if you got to it.
Yeah, I was going to put in Fantasyland. You walk up and you're walking up to King Gregor's castle. So now we have a third castle in Fantasyland, our new Fantasyland, which is okay. So we walk into King Gregor's castle, and as you're walking through the queue. Thank you.
All the words you have trouble saying?
I know. For some reason, I wanted to put an R in there. I know. It must be this Bloody Mary.
Probably that Xanatos.
That's Xanatos too. It's bloody. Man, anyway, look. So you're going through the castle. You step into the castle, and then you walk. They guide you through this particular museum, and this museum is dedicated to the Great Gummies. So you get to kind of learn a little bit about the story of who the Great Gummies were and what they were. So that's what you're looking at as you're going through the queue.
I'm with you.
And I kind of picture this kind of like when you used to walk through the Great Movie Ride, and you had all those little different artifacts and stuff. So I'm picturing that kind of a queue, right? Mm-hmm. And so eventually what you do is you go through the queue, you get to the ride, and it starts out like a little tour. And now my ride system I designed, since we have Rise of the Resistance now, which uses multiple things, that's what I decided to do.
Yeah, right.
I decided to do something that had multiple systems because, as you know, and I'm going to go on the side with this, I've mentioned this on the show before, but when people design theme parks, they have different various sizes of roller coasters. And Magic Kingdom is no exception.
Sure.
They have the beginning coaster, they have the advanced coaster, and they have that kind of intermediate one that kind of sits in between to kind of get you ready for the advanced stuff.
Judy Coaster.
The what?
Judy Coaster.
Yeah.
I just named it that out.
Oh, I like that. It works. I can go with that.
Like
So,
the Barnstormer.
yeah, so Barnstormer is the beginning one. Or is it Barnstormer or is it Flight School? Is it Barnstormer now?
I guess. I mean, Barnstormer is like the beginning one.
Yeah, so that's Barnstormer. That's what it's called now, right?
Yes.
I can't remember the name because.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. The Great Gooftini, whatever.
Oh, the Great. Yeah. So what it is?
You're right.
Somebody's yelling. It's like, oh, you should know the new names. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, screw it. Look. It's still that ride because regardless of what, it's still the same damn roller coaster.
I wasn't called it Barnstormer. I'm calling it Barnstormer.
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
Tell it.
So you got the beginning coaster there. You got all the mountains. You got Space Mountain, Big Thunder Mountain. That's all the advanced coasters. And then in between, you got the Seven Doors Mine Train, which is kind of like an intermediate kind of a thing.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So that kind of helps a little bit older kids kind of get their courage up for the big one. So since we have Rise of the Resistance, I wanted to create something that was kind of intermediary. And what I mean by that is like Winnie the Pooh is kind of like not Rise of the Resistance in the fact that it has the ride vehicle do different things. Like at one point you're bouncing with Tigger, another point you're kind of flowing, and it's really, really basic.
Yeah.
It's the same ride system, but you're doing different things.
Yeah.
So that kind of leads you towards Dinosaur, or it could lead you towards Rise of the Resistance. I'm going to use that as a jumping off point to Rise of the Resistance. Rise of the Resistance, as Danny alluded to in a few episodes ago, has a bunch of major ride systems from like Tower of Terror to just a bunch of things. And so I wanted something in between that, the kind of the tweens in between teens, the tweens could experience so that they can kind of get their courage up. So that's what I've built this ride upon.
Okay.
So trackless ride, very advanced for Fantasyland. Trackless ride, you enter this vehicle so you can take a tour of the rest of the kingdom and the castle and stuff. And so you're going, you hop into the ride, you go out and you're in the castle, and you go outside of the castle, and you're in the woods, of course, outside of the castle. And, you start looking around the grounds, you look behind you, there's a castle, and all of a sudden in front of you, you start to hear... and boulders start kind of attacking and hitting the castle and stuff. And this is where stuff goes wrong, of course, in the Disney ride. And then you look off in the distance, you see Duke Igthorn, who is the
main bad
guy.
Dookie!
Yes. Duke Igthorn, he's got his ogres with him, and he's got the little ogre named Toady, which is kind of funny. As an aside, they have an episode called Toady's
Is he a
Wild Ride.
chocolate flavored?
No, he's not a chocolate flavored. He's not a chocolate flavored, yeah.
Toady.
Yes, no, but it's as I said, as an aside, they had a episode called Toady's Wild Ride, which I thought was cute. I was like, oh, well, somebody knew what they were doing. That's a little slide joke, but I caught it.
There you go.
Because I am a Disney fan. But anyway, I digress. But anyway, so Duke Igthorn. Okay. I was calling him Dick Igthorn.
Yeah, Bob called him
he was kind of jerk. But anyway, so Duke Igthorn is bombarding the castle with catapults, because he's always trying to overtake the kingdom from King Gregor and try to be the king himself, right?
Right.
So, it's all crazy. Things are happening. You see boulders falling off, and I'm not talking about projections. I'm talking about animatronic boulders.
Oh, wow.
Just like about to fall, and you're like, and then all of a sudden Calvin comes out of the woods like, hey, follow me. So then you're off into adventure, you and your vehicle, you start following Calvin. And, you go in, and all of a sudden you look behind you and you see two ogres chasing you.
That ain't good.
And this ain't projection ogres. These are actual animatronic ogres. And just like the intro to the cartoon, they converge and they slam into each other. And then they fall. And the reason why I have them do that is because I have to figure out a way to reset the ogres for the next ride vehicle. So they hit, they fall, they faint, and then you continue on, and then they reset for the next vehicle.
Oh,
so that's what they do. That's the ogre's life in that ride. Is
that's smooth.
They chase you, hit, fall, reset. Chase you, hit, fall, reset. It's terrible. But anyway, so you keep going on, and eventually at some point you fall over this cliff. And I haven't envisioned the ride system, but now that we have Rise of Resistance, I know we can make this happen.
Of course.
But you fall, and then all of a sudden the ride vehicle, you are on your back.
Yeah.
You're feeling the pressure on your back. Everything's pitch black.
Like Haunted Mansion going out the attic?
I'm going at that, but there's zero light.
Zero light.
You kind of blanked out. You know, there's like, you see all this daylight and stuff, and also when you fall and you hit the ground, there's like a poof. You know, you hit the ground and then it's just pitch black. Zero black. There's nothing. And then you start hearing voices. You start to hear the Gummy Bears voices. You hear Zummy, you hear Grammy, you hear Sonny, all those guys. And then, slowly you start to see eyeballs pop out, and then you start to see daylight. And all of a sudden, before you know it, you see all the Gummy Bears in a circle kind of looking down. It's like, hey, I think he's all right, And Calvin's right there. He's like, yeah, he's all right. It's okay. They're my friends. I was giving him a tour of the castle, and, all of a sudden, Duke Egg throwing and all this kind of stuff. And then so, of course, what happens is like Grammy's like, oh, well, since they're here and they're friends of Calvin, let's give them a tour of our Gummy Glen, So you take us into the tree and you go through all that, you see the little, the kitchen, the bedrooms, all that kind of stuff. And then you see the room with the great Gummy. And Zummy's like, this is the book of the Great Gummies. He gives you the story of that. Mm-hmm. And then, Calvin's like, yeah, Duke Eggthorn's attacking the castle. We need help. We need help, do all this kind of stuff. And then Zummy, he's like, yeah, I had the perfect spell to this to help you out, and you take some gummy bear juice. This is the point where Zummy at some point will give you gummy berry juice. So I don't know if this could be a...
just actually somebody, a cast member.
Yeah, maybe a cast member in a Zummy outfit. Yeah, give you some juice.
Powerade or something.
Yeah. So you get some gummy berry juice.
Here's Red Bull.
Go ahead, drink up, quick.
Yes. So you drink it, and then Zummy's like, oh, I have this spell to help you with your tour vehicle. And he goes, Zummai, Kama, Kimi, whatever. All the spells kind of sound the same.
Yeah.
Zummai, Baba, whatever. So he does it, and he does this thing to the gummy berry juice, and then he can pour it into the gas tank of the ride vehicle. So then now the ride vehicle can go bounce with you, right?
Okay.
And so basically what it is, after that happens, you'll shoot out the thing, and then you'll race out through the forest, and then you see the catapult that Igthorn is attacking. You see the ogres all around you. The gummy bears attack the catapult, and then they dislodge Igthorn from the catapult. You join the gummy bears, and then all of a sudden, and at this point, as an aside, your ride vehicle is going on to some kind of roller coaster system, a ride system, right? Because you're about to go for a ride on the catapult. So basically, the catapult goes, and then, all gummy bears are just like, oh my gosh, the catapult's going to crash into the castle. We got to get off now. So everybody jumps off, except for you, you and Calvin. And then so it's like, Calvin's like, all right, hold on, guys. We're going for a ride. And you go into, and by some kind of effect and Disney magic, you crash into the castle.
Oh,
and you fall down just a little bit, and you splash down into the castle moat.
You actually have water put on you.
You actually have water sprayed, whatever you want to do. So that's what happens. And then you're there, and then Calvin looks, and everybody comes out and is like, oh, are they all right? So King Greyar and then Calla comes out and says, I think they're okay. Calvin's like, yeah, I'm okay. And then Calla's like, oh, great. Oh, yes. Very good, Paige. Because she has to keep reserved. She can't let her know that she really likes the dude. Mm-hmm. She's got to keep that in the wraps.
It's tough.
It's a freaking Paige, She can't be liking a Paige. She's a freaking princess.
She can't.
But anyways, so everybody's fine. And King Greyar's like, oh, I'm so glad your tour wasn't ruined. I hope this isn't happy review of our kingdom, blah, 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 blah. And then that's pretty much it. And you get out of the moats, and then you go back into the castle, and then you dislodge the ride. And then afterwards, the post scene, you go into a bar area where you can buy more gummy berry juice and consume. So
not a real bar then.
No, not a real bar, just a gummy berry juice bar.
Like a juice bar.
Yes, that's correct. And you're probably thinking, wait a minute, if they buy gummy berry juice, they're going to think, wait, can they bounce some more afterwards? But no. And the reason being is there's a rule where humans can only consume gummy bear juice once and have it be effective, and then the rest of the day it doesn't do a darn thing. Yeah, so that's how they're going to get away with selling gummy bear juice.
So I see what you're saying. So like in true Disney fashion, the first taste is free.
Yes.
And then afterwards you got to pay for it.
Exactly.
And it's not as effective.
Yes, and it's not as effective, yeah. And you may be thinking to yourself, well, wait a minute, what if they ride the ride? They're going to take more gummy bear juice. Well, if you remember, Zummy made a potion for the gummy berry juice to work in your ride vehicle. So regardless, you're going on that bouncing journey with the gummy bears.
That's right. It's a twofer.
It's a twofer. So regardless if you took the gummy bear juice or not, your ride vehicle is still going to bounce along with the gummy bears.
You've put a lot of thought into the logic of this.
I have. Yeah, I wanted to make sure because it's like, how would I get them to do that? And then I remember the rule of like, oh yeah, only once a day, And I don't know if the day is clearly defined, if it's like a 24 hours from the time that you drink it, or if it's like just during a sunlight day. But it doesn't matter because the park closes at whatever time it does. So it's going to be a day within a day. So, you still go on with that idea.
That's what
but
makes it cool.
You can sell gummy bear juice because apparently it's there.
It's kind of like the ghost that follows you home. If you ever want to get rid of them, you have to go back in the ride. So if you ever want to bounce, you got to go back in the ride.
Exactly.
You can't get that sensation unless you're there. Okay.
So that's just a little intermediary type of rise resistance thing to get those older kids ready and have the courage to do rise resistance when it comes to it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Cool. So that's my attraction.
I got one issue with it. I don't think Bob's going to be cool with giving away juice.
No, probably not. No, probably not. That'd be the tough part. Yeah.
Like, can we give them empty bottles? And it
We may have to get
like they're drinking.
Yeah, we may have to get rid of the juice and then just do the.
And then how do you get the juice bottles back? Did you figure that out?
Oh, they're probably disposable. You just throw them in the can or something.
Kind of like with your glasses, or you throw them into the.
Or the cast member just takes them away. Yeah. But that's it. That's
people
it.
selling sneaking out with the gummy bear juice.
You know that juice.
Selling it online.
It's
Never drank. Because what if you don't drink the gummy? What if you're like, well, it only works once a day. I'm not going to drink the gummy berry juice.
Right.
I'm going to hold the gummy berry juice. I'm going to stick it in my pant pocket. They won't see it. And I'm like, oh, they didn't give me. And then you get out, and then they drink the gummy berry juice.
Oh, that's a good question.
You got to put
so the cast member.
So there's a curse on the gummy berry juice.
Since it's a finite number, yeah, it could be a curse.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
Where it's like, if you're
like a metal
dishonest,
detector that senses juice.
You're
There
impotent.
you go. Right.
only the pure of heart.
That's
can
right.
Use gummy berry.
Only
juice.
the penitent man will bounce.
That's it.
The penitent man will bounce. That's the penitent man. The penitent man.
Just tell them to put a spell on.
Yeah, absolutely. So it works in some quick. I'm sorry. When they get back to the fight, they take the quick coasters back to the fight.
Okay.
That's how the quick coasters are utilized in this attraction. So at some point, yeah. So sorry. Anyway, so that's my ride.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's a lot of complexity that you worked out.
It makes me want to go back and watch Gummy Bears. That was one of those shows I remember watching, and I was probably 11, 12
Yeah, at least,
at the time.
around
And
there.
I remember my dad walking around like, oh, turn the channel. I'm watching sports or something.
Yeah.
Wait. That was like the one cartoon where I'm like, I'm probably a little too old for this, but it was so engaging.
I liked
It
it.
came
I
on at
liked
a
it.
weird time though, if I remember right. Like, because it would be like 11. It would come on later than a normal cartoon.
Late
would
in the
on
morning.
Saturday.
Yeah.
It's just funny. You'd be watching like Transformers and they laser blast back and forth in G.I. Joe and they've got guns and they're shooting at one another. And then guys, Gummy Bears.
Yes.
And I'm watching that too.
Yeah, you get out of the venture and then you get that.
Out in chorus, marching along as the song fills the
Yeah.
Dude, that song always made me feel good.
I did. Yeah, it still makes me feel
Fuck
good
me
when I
up.
hear it.
Yeah.
Gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere. All right, so take us to
I can't wait
Handy
to hear
Manny
this.
Lee
I gotta hear
Lastavica.
this.
Here we go.
All right, yeah, Handy Manny, man. I think I'm a little kind of a dandy here in that, this was a show that my kids love to watch. Not so much me.
It's okay if you did, man.
It's starting off magical.
I watched Gummy Bears, so you can admit that you watched this. You're good. You're
I
good.
watched Handy Manny. It was good.
All right, so yes, Handy Manny is one of those shows that my youngest son loved to watch. My oldest son was into Bob the Builder, so this is like the Mexican version of Bob the Builder. But my youngest son,
El Bob the
loved
Builder.
Handy- El Babo.
El Babo.
I was waiting for how long this got racist.
Roberto.
El Roberto the Builder.
Oh, don't worry.
Estructura.
But that train ain't
But
never
no,
late
so-
with Lastavica.
So this was a show my youngest liked to watch, and I liked to watch it with him too. It was a real cool show and cool concept. And Handy Manny goes on all these little adventures, and the gist of the whole show is basically like he's a local handyman, and so at some point in the show something's going to get broken or needs to be fixed or whatever. So they're going to call Handy Manny. And one of the main characters on the show is Mr. Lopart. So Mr. Lopart is the guy that's like Mr. Do-It-Yourself. He's always like, oh, no, don't worry, Handy Manny, I can fix this. I can build this, whatever. And, of course, it ends up being a total disaster. And Handy Manny has to come by and fix it, whatever it may be. So it's going to play into the dynamics of this ride. So here's my first thing. Like when I pitched this to my kids and I'm like, hey, this is what we're doing. What do you guys think? I'm doing Handy Manny. They automatically said the exact same thing I was thinking. So what ride system would you guys think would work for this particular attraction?
A log ride.
A log ride would be good, but no.
I mean, it's handy.
That is handy. You could also saw the log in half in the midway through the ride. No, but we're going to use the same ride system as Toy Story Midway Mania.
Okay,
So-
single track, pull it.
Yeah.
Okay. Motorized
virtual
vehicles.
reality,
okay.
virtual screens. You got to shoot stuff and do stuff, actions on the
Wait,
stuff like that. So
are you going to make our riders work?
yes, we're
Oh,
going to
okay.
put them to
Cool.
work.
So instead
And
of like
in true
laser
Disney
guns?
fashion, it's going to be like the college program. They're going to work for free. They're not going to get paid for it. So there's several different tools, and each tool has a name, obviously. And these are basically the tools that Handy Manny has. There's Flicker, who's a flashlight. Mm-hmm. Rusty, he's like a monkey wrench. I'm not sure if you would call it that, but that's what I call it, a monkey wrench. Dusty, who's a saw. Squeeze, pliers. Turner, who's a flathead screwdriver. Felipe,
Turner? Is that what you said? Turner.
Okay. He's a flathead screwdriver.
All right.
Felipe, who obviously is a Phillips head screwdriver. And Pat, who's the hammer.
Pat?
Okay? Pat. So like you pat a nail. Boom.
But I don't pat, baby.
I bang that nail.
I bang that nail in, baby.
I guess they couldn't have called the hammer banger. Could they?
Yeah, smash.
Bang, 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 bang.
Tap.
Tap that nail.
Tap that nail.
Tap that.
Bap, bap.
So what we're going to do is basically on this ride, we're going to go through Mr. Lopard's house and repair everything that he has broken or what's wrong with his house, or he's messed it up, so we got to come in and fix it.
Are we going to throw those guys at the screen?
I love this. I love
hammers?
This attraction already.
I know. This is going to be fun.
And the cool thing is your ride vehicle is going to be a toolbox. So the ride vehicle will be shaped like a little toolbox.
Oh,
okay? So
Toy Story Mania. Yeah, it can fit. You can use that same ride vehicle and make it look like a toolbox.
Yeah, and inside the toolbox are going to be all these tools. So, like right now with Toy Story Mania, each person has one little shooter, action gun. Whereas with this, you're actually going to have all of the tools inside there at your disposal. And so the trick is with this game is that you've got to use the proper tools for the proper things that you're fixing, right? So like you're going through.
That's smooth.
I like it.
Yeah, you can't use the hammer on everything.
I like
right?
it. That kind of combines Horizons, choose your own thing, plus oh, okay, go, Lee. I like
Dude,
this.
I am impressed.
I am erect. I'm good.
Okay, you got a Rector set.
I am excited.
Slow
now.
down, Pat.
This ain't no bat.
Yeah, ain't no bat.
This ain't no bat.
Yeah, watch out, Squeeze.
This is called nail.
That's indeed.
So you can use any of the tools at any time. And also, instead of being like competitive, it's going to be more like a team building exercise. So you got to work together with the person in your ride vehicle to do things. So as an example, the first thing we have to do is the first room is going to be totally pitch black, and we've got to repair a light fixture that Mr. Lopar put in that's not working. So that's why it's black. So one person needs to use flicker, the flashlight, while the other person needs to use the flathead or the Phillips screwdriver to unscrew the light fixture. Then you got to use squeeze to rewire it and squeeze the wires back together and then reinstall the light fixture. So
it's funny.
You got to work together.
I can see somebody riding with their parents, and it's like, oh, it's pitch black. I can't see. Turn on the damn flashlight. How do I turn on the flashlight?
Hit Felipe.
Dang, I pressed the button.
Hit Felipe,
We
damn
only
it.
got 5 minutes left. Come on.
This is why we don't let you do things in the house, because you screw everything.
That's right.
Can't fix
Flashlight.
Screw you, Mom.
Screw you. I want off this ride. Damn it.
All I wanted was a Pepsi, and you wouldn't give it to me. Just a
I got a
Pepsi.
frozen Coke.
They're stabbing each other with
A shank made out the screwdriver and Felipe. Felipe shank.
You don't want none, essay.
Called security. Where's
man.
Felipe? He shanked a lot of people.
All right, go ahead.
There you go.
All right. So, I mean, that's basically what you can do through the whole ride. So maybe the next scene, we're going to the kitchen, and there's a leaking pipe. So you got to get Rusty to replace the P-trap, and then you're going to get Squeeze to help you replace the faucet and all this kind of stuff. And then maybe once that's done, you see that the electrical outlet here is sparking, so we have to replace that. So it'll kind of progress as you get further along in the game. So at first you got to use maybe just 2 tools. But by the end, like we got to build the whole garage. So we need all the tools. Like we need like all 7 tools working together. We got to saw stuff with
You start throwing stuff at the
Dusty.
screen.
We got to hammer stuff with Pat. So, the final scene, you'll have to use like all 7 tools to finish the
Now,
scene.
Lee,
7 tools?
Hold up now, Lee. Right now, is Handy Manny with you on the ride? Like you hear his voice telling you what you need to do for the younger.
Yeah, he's like
riders?
Hondo. Does that
Or
help
you're
out?
just like, nah, kids, figure it out yourself. Y'all got to figure out.
Like, what was that video game that was on Laserdisc, the first Laserdisc game? Not Space Ace, it was before that.
Dragon's Lair?
Yeah, Dragon's Lair.
Oh,
right?
Dragon's Lair. Yeah, like Dragon's Lair. How much? You had to drop like $30 in there, and it was just like, you had to figure that out.
I think it was impossible.
It was tough.
So no, that's a good idea. I didn't think about that, but you definitely need someone guiding you along the way. And of course, it's handyman.
Like a Hondo. Yeah.
Well, I can see
can do
that, but also like being real, like I can see whatever the tool, like whatever it needs to be fixed. Maybe they have icons of each of the tools, so they're like
You select
the light up, like
lit up. That's a good idea.
yeah, so you know visually what ones to use because you're moving, right?
Maybe it delays it after a little while. Like, so it gives you a second to figure
you
it out.
stop and you have a scene and you complete that scene, then you move. So it's not a moving vehicle while you're using the tools.
Okay.
It's just like again, Toy Story Mania.
Yeah.
Right.
You stop. There's a something pops up on the screen. You have to interact with it.
So maybe it gives you a second to kind of do it on your own, and if it doesn't, then it lights the appropriate tool for it.
That's good.
And Manny comes in like, hey, how about the flashlight?
Right. Okay. So also too, you could do something like, you could possibly use Turner or Felipe because they're both screwdrivers, but you get more points for using Felipe if it's the right tool for that job. So you can
Jam Turner in the Phillips head. Hey man, that's my job. Yeah, but I still work.
You still missed another tool there because if you have Turner, you have no hooch. You need to be drinking while you're on the job.
That's in your thermos.
Yeah,
in your lunchbox.
I like that though. Yeah.
I like it. No, I think that'd be fun.
Dude, I think he's nailed this.
Yeah,
one.
I think
No pun intended.
Hey!
All right,
every
so
Wednesday.
Maybe somewhat intended.
Every Wednesday.
It is.
And of course, the best part of the whole ride is when you get off and you get into the gift shop.
No, of
So
course.
not only do you have like handy Manny toolboxes, shirts, plush, blah, 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 but there's going to be a whole section of like Mexican candies. The mazapan, the candy lot, the tamarindos.
Hey, can we have?
Finally,
Can
we
we,
get there. I'm like,
I was like, he's doing so good.
can we actually have like sugar cokes?
I'm like, this
instead
is
of,
like
fructose.
listening to Sinatra without doing my way.
Yeah, we get the
And
sugar
then there'll be
cokes.
like there's going to be like a taco truck outside too.
Oh, come on.
There it is.
You get some elote.
Wait, is your
and,
boy from like Cars gonna come out?
that would be good. You can do a cross
Hey,
promotion.
I give you a paint job, man. Van Dutch style.
You get your tool belt and everything.
Ramon's here, baby.
Yeah, you could do
Low
like
and
a cross
slow,
promotion
baby.
with the cars too. I mean, shoot, if this works out good, you could just redo the whole Toy Story land into like a Disney Channel area.
That's not
You know,
bad.
bring
Yeah,
back,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, you
you
can
can bring back Recess.
I would do that.
What else?
Gravity Falls.
Roly-poly-oly.
Kim Possible.
Kim
all that
Possible.
stuff, man.
Lizzie
Yeah.
McGuire.
I love
Lizzie,
Kim
yeah.
Possible.
I
Kim
did.
Possible.
Yeah, I did like that
Awesome,
one.
man. Lee, good job.
Lee, dude, you nailed
you.
that. That was your
I liked
best
it.
job. Seriously, like I would definitely, if I was an executive and I needed a handy manny ride, I definitely would consider that proposal.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I had fun doing it, and like I said, I got a couple of pictures with my kid meeting Handy Manny and stuff like that. So it kind of brought back some memories looking at all that stuff. And it's too bad he's not out there anymore. But I don't even know if the Handy Manny's on. Is the show around anymore? Or,
I don't think so. I think it's over.
Yeah, I think it's done.
No,
so.
it's done. He'd be on like Netflix or Disney Plus,
Yeah.
if anything.
Well, all these shows that we're doing are done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
that's
these
true.
are done.
They can always pick
Well,
up.
my challenge was that, I don't know if I'm just a little bit too old for this, but there was none of these shows that I actually watched as a kid. Like I didn't know about Gargoyles. I'd never heard of Gummy Bears until, I met Kevin, that kind of stuff. So like, I think some of these shows I was a little too old to watch in their prime. Even DuckTales, like that was more my brother's speed.
Hey, Lee, Handy Manny is on Disney Plus.
Hey,
I just
Well,
found
let's
him.
check it out. I'll get my kid to watch it tonight.
I just found him.
Now, wait, real quick. I think I know the answer to this, but I want to be sure. So, where are you putting this, Lee? Hollywood Studios.
Hollywood Studios,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I
think
thought.
That's good. I
That's
think that's-
appropriate, right?
I think
like
it is. I
you
don't
get rid of the whole Toy Story land eventually, and we'll just do a whole throwback Disney animation.
No,
I would dig that, actually.
I like
yeah.
that. I like the
that
idea
too.
of getting rid of Toy Story Mania. That's fine by me. I mean,
Or plussing Toy Story Mania to make it better and then making a whole Disney Channel or whatever. I think that's great.
Right.
That's
no,
awesome.
bravo,
Yes.
sir.
That was
So
cool.
now we get to add one of my favorite shows too. It has an awesome theme song too.
I'm like completely like I've never seen this one. So I'm like I'm
What version of the theme song is that?
I think it's the full version.
that's the Felipe version.
I was gonna say that's.
I'll skip to the head.
It's kind of got this Charlie Brown kind of tempo.
That's kind of weird, isn't it?
I've never heard the full version before. That's kind of got me thrown off. I'm like, wait, I didn't know that you were playing the song at first. I thought you were wrapping up with Lee or something.
Oh, no, yeah.
He just threw you right into it.
Yeah.
You can hear to proceed this. I remember when my kids started watching, I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
And I sat and watched. I'm like, oh my God, this is the most awesome thing ever.
I know, dude. I got totally sucked into it. The few episodes I did, so much so where I'm like, you know what? I can make the time to watch this.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And get this all covered before we go ahead and do this topic. So for those unfamiliar with Gravity Falls, which I'm assuming is going to be at least you and Lee, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Picture, you remember Twin Peaks?
Right.
Yes.
All right, picture the show Twin Peaks. It's kind of along that lines, but for kids, where you have this sleepy little town in the middle of nowhere. I think it's in Oregon or something like that, if I remember correctly.
Pacific Northwest, woody. Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
All right, I'm trying to remember that aspect of it, but whatever. It's a sleepy little town where all these weird little paranormal things happen. And you have these two twins. They're twin brothers and sisters, Dipper and Mabel Pines. Mm-hmm. And they go live with their grunkle Stan.
Grunkle. He's a grumpy uncle.
Grunkle is a short of great and uncle.
I thought it was like Gummy uncle or something.
So if you had a great aunt, it would be your Grant.
Yes.
Which, small little side story. We're driving in the car the other day, and I asked Lily, I said, because, she, like I said, she's helped me out, and we're talking about this attraction, and I said, do you know what grunkle means? And she says, great uncle. And I said, very good. I said, do you know what great aunt is? She said, Grant. Very good. And she's like, well, Aunt Sandy's my aunt, but she's not my great aunt, is she? She's not a Grant, is she? And I said, no, she's a grunt.
She's a grunt. That's an aunt. That's grumpy. That's a grunt. Yes, you're right.
She's not like, was that a great what? What is that?
No.
Said, when you're older. When you're older.
That's great.
Daddy shouldn't have said that. Daddy is
That's
so
great. Wow.
Oh, yes. Oh,
man.
That deserves that.
That's great. I like it.
The whole ride. She's like, no, tell me, Daddy. I won't tell Mama. Just tell me. And I'm dying laughing. And I'm like,
That's
no,
great.
one day, Siri, remind me in 20 years.
Yeah.
Tell
You got to
Lily.
keep that to the, you got to hold that one tight.
I am dead. I'm totally dead right now.
That is great. Great segue.
Oh, okay. So anyway,
I'm smiling.
These twins, they're from California, and they go live with their grunkle Stan over in Gravity Falls for the summer vacation. And Grunkle Stan, he owns the Mystery Shack, which is like a little touristy trap place, which has all these kind of fake little odd exhibits. Like picture like a shyster who would run a little touristy trap kind of place. Like, ooh, behold the mighty jackalope and that kind of thing. And they have these little exhibits around that you can go see and like, oh my God, this is
it's like those mystery houses. Like the Beta has a mystery house.
Right. Or like a Bigfoot cat footprint kind of thing.
Touristy things.
Right. But Grunkle Stan is just, he knows all this stuff is just fake. And it's like, this is all an act for the tourists and stuff like that. So they go live with him in the Mystery Shack. And over time, they start realizing there's some strange stuff going on in this town, especially within the forest that surrounds Gravity Falls. So the kids get involved in various adventures. Dipper finds a book. It's a journal written by somebody who's kind of explored and been around Gravity Falls and really kind of has an understanding of the different creatures that are out there and chronicled everything and chronicled spells and different little things that can help defeat these creatures or help gives information about these things or what they need to do, that kind of thing. So it really is. It's a paranormal show set in this sleepy little town where the people who live there are all just kind of quirky people. And it's amazing. It really is a well done show. Like I said, it's probably this coming generation Scooby-Doo.
Okay.
If I can put it in a way, except it wraps everything up. It only goes 2 seasons. Each season is like 20 episodes apiece. And they wrap everything up and they tell a full story. And they're like, that's it, we're done.
Each episode is a mystery, or is it like just one big arcing?
There's one big overarching story that it goes towards.
Okay.
And then it completes, but there's several little individual stories along the way. It builds. Kind of like a Breaking Bad or something like that.
All right. Kind of sounds like Little Things. So is that what it's called? That Stephen King novel where the guy had all of the different towards the stuff and they're like needful things.
Needful things. I never saw that or read the book or anything like that. But
go ahead.
No, I wouldn't put it at, like kind of like Stranger Things. Like they live in this town. There's always something weird going on, and the kids are all aware of it, but the rest of the community is like, what? Don't say anything.
You tell me it's a mall. What do you mean?
So that's kind of where I would put it on lines of. So anyway, for my attraction here, that's what I did. I did Gravity Falls.
All right.
And I'm going to put this in Animal Kingdom's theme park. All right. I'm thinking behind Dino Land, right over there where you have that Chester and Hester Dino Treasures place. I want a little path with a big billboard that says "Welcome to Gravity Falls" that you go down. And as you venture in, if I could get away with it, I want. Not only do I want the little signs that Grunkle Stan would tack up, the little arrows pointing this way to the Mystery Shack and all that other kind of stuff that he would normally do. I'd like to do like a whole little mini land back there, kind of like you see with Cars Land, where you get to see the backdrop of the of Gravity Falls, which is like this bridge, which I don't want to give anything away, but there's a distinct shape in this bridge, and it's there the entire show, and you never realize it, and towards the end that it was meant to signify something. And there's this huge bridge with the falls that you get to see, and it really kind of would frame this little mini land nicely. If you put Greasy's Diner in there, you've got a counter service option, a couple of different additional attractions. That would be nice, but just sticking to my that's what I would like to see done, because I think this is a rich show that could really be explored and made fun.
I think that's perfect, because you got that road in Dino Land, USA, and you got that billboard right there that's continue on to Gravity Falls.
That's exactly it.
Brilliant. I love it.
Love it. But since we don't have a whole land, we're just going to go with the shack. Because if we had a whole land, I think I'd make the Mystery Shack like an escape room.
Yes.
What? I've been looking for an escape room type attraction. I think the Mystery Shack would be perfect for that. And then each clue gets you into the next room, and the next room, and the next room. And then you could have this big, more involved attraction that I'm about ready to lay out elsewhere. Yeah. Because as it is, I had to figure out a way to kind of do this through the Mystery Shack, because it's an iconic structure. It's a big part of the show that you got to go in.
Right.
So if I had a whole land, I could break it up. But anyway, all right. So the exterior would obviously be the Mystery Shack. You get the totem pole, the Gravity Falls water towers in the background, and I'm thinking you even have a little animatronic Gompers on the goat. I think his name was Gomper, on the porch.
Yeah.
Okay. So the queue would go in, you'd wind in and through the Mystery Shack, allowing the guest to view the various different exhibits in the museum area. You'd have your oddities, such as the jackalope and the dodo bird and the T-Rex skull and all the different little things that you see in there. They're all fake in Uncle Stan's shop, but you get to see all these different things. And kind of similar to Haunted Mansion, it's a small facade that leads into a bigger show building, because, this is going to be a little bit grander than what the little Mystery Shack could hold. So the guests would enter in the floor room of the museum, which would be a large room full of different exhibits, facing the stage where Grunkle Stan would appear via a projection effect amongst a room of exhibits. And he'd proceed to show us some hokey exhibits that are obviously just like two creatures Scotch taped together, struggling to get away with, and he's like, oh, this is the famous chimpanzee mermaid, and it's a fish, strapped to a that kind of stuff Grunkle Stan would do. And finally he closes with Hogzilla, which is just Waddles the pig painted green with horns.
That's awesome.
Glued to his head.
That's awesome.
And if you don't know Waddles the pig is Mabel. Mabel's the little girl. That's her little pig. She's the cutest little pig.
She loves that pig.
Yeah, she loves Waddles. And that would be a nice little touch.
Little green eggs and ham.
Yeah. So this brings out his great nephew and niece, Dipper and Mabel, who tell him they should stop at all these dumb fake attractions and show off some of Gravity Falls' truly amazing creatures that they find every day in the forest. And suddenly the lights will flicker and the room shakes and the room starts to come alive and different little shapes start to appear and combine to take the form of Bill Cipher. And Bill Cipher, I'm going to show it to you real quick because, and hopefully the listeners at home will just go ahead and Google it. He's like a pyramid with a big eye. Kind of similar.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Similar to what you would see on a dollar bill.
Yes.
And
that's how Illuminati stuff.
Yes, that's how they kind of came up with the name. Is Bill from a dollar bill and Cipher because those things are all supposed to be codes. There's various codes hidden throughout the entire show.
Yeah, it's an awesome show.
Okay, and so Bill Cipher is like a dream demon. He's the main antagonist of Gravity Falls. And he's just broken free of the mindscape, which is where he's been imprisoned. So he can enter in your mind, but he can't take form in the physical world unless he inhabits a vessel. like a being, whether it be animate or inanimate. He could take over your body if you agree to let him with a handshake, or he can take over something inanimate.
You gotta shake your hand to take you over.
Yes.
You got to make an agreement.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah, you got to.
It's that simple.
It's like making a deal with the devil.
Yes.
As long as you shake his hand, he agrees to give you something. You shake, and Bill can now inhabit the real world.
Eli, you probably love this show.
And yeah,
I'm listening. Yeah,
You probably
I'm kinda-
would, dude. Seriously, I love this show.
every
have to
single
look for this.
time the deal never works out for you. Let me
Exactly.
just put it like
Yes.
that. So
Yes.
again, it is like a deal with the devil kind of thing.
Or a dollar bill.
So he's just broken free of the mindscape, and he's promising revenge on Stan for imprisoning him there before he disappears. And again, if you haven't watched the show, Grunkle Stan has something to do with what happened. I'm not going to tell you.
I hear you, but I got it.
spoilers and
I'm
everything
with
like
you,
that.
with you.
Grunkle Stan has something to do with why he disappears, and so he's comes back. He promises his revenge, and he disappears from the room. Grunkle Stan immediately announces the mystery shack is closed and all guests need to get out right now. And Dipper's like, but Grunkle Stan, you didn't even show them anything amazing about Gravity Falls. And Grunkle Stan says, kid, don't remember the mystery shack motto. We put the fun in no refunds. Which is a saying at the...
Yes,
the
it is.
mystery
It
shack.
is.
Don't you like not getting your money back? You do.
And that's the grumpy part.
So Mabel says to Dipper, well, maybe we can show them around Gravity Falls ourselves, and Dipper thinks this is a great idea. He runs off to grab his journal just in case Bill shows up, because he's got a few spells in there that they can maybe use to help kind of keep things at bay. And Mabel goes tells Seuss to get the mystery cart ready. And the mystery cart's going to be your ride vehicle. Now, if you're familiar with a golf cart, that's all the mystery cart is. It's got like a little question mark on it and color scheme with a little speaker on top where that way you can hold the mic and kind of broadcast everyone. But this is obviously going to have to be a souped up mystery cart. And so we're going to have 3 different vehicles attached to it, almost like a train being pulled. And each car is going to seat up to like 6 guests. Okay. So, and it's going to pull you through the mystery shack and out into the forest. So we enter the Mystery Shack garage, approach the ride vehicle, and Seuss has made his modifications, so that's what you're going to jump on. And through the use of digital screen and projection effects, we're going to bring Gravity Falls to life. So,
Nice.
First and foremost, the mystery cart itself, it's going to be surrounding the screen. So through projection effects and screen, it's going to look like Seuss is driving, and the 2 kids are in the back seat narrating at all times what you're going through and what you're about to see. Okay. They tell you that because Bill's out there and it's a little bit dangerous, we're going to use a series of shortcuts to get around Gravity Falls, and they're called portal potties.
That's not cool.
Yes. Which are a series of outhouses that are strategically placed so that way people can transport in and around the forest.
This is you making that up? Or that's
No,
It's in the cartoon.
It's,
yeah.
Well, it's not in the cartoon, but it was in their journal.
Oh, it was in a journal.
It was in
Okay,
a journal
okay.
that we bought, and Lily and I would flip through it, and we were trying to pick out different elements that we thought would be cool for inclusion. And portal potties was one of them.
I like portal
And I was
potties.
like, I love this. This is like, because they...
Very Harry Potter.
Yes, they explain it. It's like, it's a series of things and lets you get around Gravity Falls. So
To
I'm
a
like,
toilet?
Yeah.
an outhouse.
An
So
outhouse.
you go to the toilet and then you drop one, so the turds show up in another area?
No. You open the door and all you see is a portal.
Oh,
It's not really a toilet.
Yeah.
It's a portal potty.
would make me
It
crap
looks
if
like
I
a
was-
potty,
Yeah.
but it's a portal.
It's like
a portal.
Ghostbusters, Zool, you know.
Yeah,
you
go
open
through-
the fridge.
I would,
and
I
there's-
would crap on myself if I opened up the toilet and there was a portal right there.
Well, there is a real toilet underneath all that, so you
Yeah,
go ahead
you're
and
good.
crap away.
You got to crap while transport.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're able to deactivate the portal, you can use the toilet.
But do
All
it
right.
before you go in the portal, or else
Right.
the crap's going to go with you.
There's a lot of rules to this cartoon.
So
It's deep.
Very deep.
the door to the garage opens up. We leave the mystery shack. We head right towards the portal potty, and the door of the portal potty opens as we enter. And I'm thinking, like, for the portal potty, use like one of those effects similar to Enchanted Tales with Belle, where they make that mirror grow
Yes,
big.
I
and
love that
It transports
effect.
you right
I
to
love
the
that
beast
effect.
castle. That's exactly what I'm thinking. And so we head out, and now we're in the forest. And first up in the forest, we come upon the abominable Bro-Man.
What?
Done in audio animatronic form.
What? Abominable Bro-Man.
That's awesome.
Dipper tells us that he thinks the abominable Bro-Man is either a Bigfoot or a Yeti who once found a hiker in the woods, studied him, ate him, and is now emulating him.
What up, bruh?
That's exactly it. The abominable Bro-Man, he wears a frayed backwards baseball cap, cargo shorts and even shaves his left upper arm to show off his tribal tattoo.
I like
He
this.
swigs soda and he likes to say bro, righteous, and chill a lot.
A lot.
So you get to see him in his natural habitat, the abominable Bro Man.
I'm gonna get my affliction t-shirt out for you, bro.
Next up, we come across the gnomes. You remember the gnomes?
Yes, I remember the gnomes. Yes.
So Dipper tells us that the
Those
gnomes
guys.
are a group of tree-dwelling creatures that live in Gravity Falls' forest with exceptionally pointy hats and the ability to stack their bodies into giant formations.
like a transformer.
Yes.
Dang, okay.
Or Voltron,
Yeah.
actually, yeah.
And Mabel reminds us that they once kidnapped her
Yes.
and tried to force her to be their queen, but they've since mellowed a bit.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice, though.
So I'm thinking this scene, you use a mix of screens and audio animatronics to kind of achieve the effects of bringing the gnomes to life. Mm-hmm. But you got to put them outside of their favorite gnome tavern called Nasty's. GNAST.
This is the type of show.
This is the type of show.
I swear you'd love this show.
I was spent my drink on it.
This is the type of show it is.
You can say Gnasty's.
This
is nasty.
Only if you could.
Yeah, before you think you think you know where they're going, they're going to go over there.
Yeah.
I was, as soon as I was spit my drink, you said
Yes.
nasty. Like what?
I love this show.
Okay.
I love this show.
Is this like kind of The Simpsons and the type of humor that it is? Like it's a kid show, but the adults get a lot out of it too. Like you get the inside jokes and like you look at your daughter to say, "Did you catch that?" Or nah, you don't get that yet.
Yeah, there's a tremendous amount that goes right over the kid's head.
Yeah, I almost think the adults get more than what the Simpsons get.
I'm with you. I mean it's not sexual in any way. Like the Simpsons will bring sex in the equation. Very rarely. I mean,
It's the
maybe
complexity of which
use
they yeah.
Yeah, you might use
Yeah.
the concept of a crush.
Right.
In order to get that concept across here. But
It's just
this
complex,
This is absolutely is true. So the gnomes at their tavern Nasty's, you had a gnome like with an overcoat in the shadows dealing like black market fairy dust.
Yes.
He was buck nasty.
He was buck nasty, yes.
Well, another one, so you're going to see him dealing the fairy dust, and you're going to see another one is taking a squirrel bath, which is a gnome in a bathtub with squirrels running around and surrounding him.
That's weird nasty.
That's how them know. That's how
That's how they get down?
That's how they get there.
You gotta watch the show, dude. It's awesome. I love this show.
Wow.
I love this show.
That's something with squirrels. Okay.
Yeah.
As we pass by, the gnomes see that Mabel's on the cart, and they combine together to form the super gnome. They start flexing. They try and impress Mabel to get her to come back to be their queen, but nevertheless, it doesn't work. We move on, and we enter into a giant cavern where we come across the Manotars.
Oh,
Who remembers the Manotars?
I remember the Manotars.
Who are living appropriately enough in their man cave. Yes.
Yeah, because Dipper wants to be a man.
Right.
He wants to learn how to be a man.
Man up.
That's it. Dipper. So the whole time, Dipper's narrating everything you see. He's telling you a little bit about it.
Cool.
So
Yeah,
it's
okay.
like, Dipper tells us that the Manotars are half bull, but all man. And
They're all man.
Yes.
They're all man.
And when he was having issues with his masculinity, these creatures taught him how to man up and everything like that. And we're going to see like this big animatronic scene where the Manotars are working out, arm wrestling, relaxing in their hot spring.
I like this. Manotaur skate.
And then they're
it.
sticking their fist in the pain hole.
Yes. Yes.
What?
Because
what?
Manotars have a pain hole.
You just have to
You stick your fist in the pain hole.
It's not a glory hole, but it's the same concept, but it's painful.
I don't know the glory of this hole, but this
No,
seems
there's
to be
no
a
glory with this
story.
hole. It's all pain all the
pain.
time.
That's how they man up.
That's how they man up. They're
how
very
they- yes.
Picture Minotaurs,
Yeah.
but incredibly in touch with their masculinity.
Like, I'm just more angry.
tough.
They have names like testosterone,
Yes.
and
Yes.
pituitar, and beardy, and pubitar. It's like
Dude, it's awesome.
It's
Dude,
awesome.
Eli, you got to watch it. I swear
I'm
to
on
God. 20 episodes each season. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful episode.
What episode are these guys on?
They're
That's
like
a-
the third.
Yeah, they're like Yeah, because
something like
Dipper questions his masculinity. He needs to
Wow.
go seek out people.
When it down, so you feel love, stick your hand in the pain hole, huh?
Yeah.
Hand in the pain hole.
I like this.
Measure of a man, right?
Yeah, right.
This cartoon is so freaking awesome.
Okay.
I love it. I love
Okay,
it. All right,
so
go
now
ahead.
we're on our third act right now at this point in time. We've seen our third set of creatures, but at this time, it's when we start to notice that the symbols on the man cave walls are starting to come alive, and they're starting to make that familiar shape of Bill Cipher, who shows up and proclaims that since Stan is too much of a coward to face him, his family will just have to do, but he needs a vessel to inhabit. So immediately we see the projected form enter into one of the animatronic Manotars, who stands up looking mean and starts blowing steam out of his nose, and Mabel and Dipper just tell Seuss to floor it, and our mystery cart picks up speed, and hightails out of there. And we think we're far enough away, and we stop, and Mabel asks if we're okay, and Dipper, like, I don't know, well, turns on the flashlight, and then boom, right off to the side through a screen, we see a Minotaur charging us.
Picture.
Yes. No, not yet. Not yet.
No.
That's coming. That's coming.
Totally fooled.
So you start charges to the right, we floor it, but boom, we feel a collision. We don't see it. The light goes black. We feel a jolt. You hear a bit of a crash, and boom, you've been hit by the possessed Minotaur, and that's when your cart comes apart.
Oh.
And now you're in 3 separate ride vehicles.
Oh,
each
snap.
of which are careening and zooming through the cavern. You're passing through, all these caves with these giant floating eyeballs and the vampire bats and all that. Thank you.
That is badass.
Thank you.
That is badass.
I like the idea of the cars coming apart.
I know. I love that.
Yeah, I didn't see that
because
coming.
you totally don't expect that.
Yeah.
And each car exits out of the cave now, back into the show building, into the night forest. And we're passing by, depending upon which path your car takes. You could pass by the multi-bear, Celestabel, Bethabel, the unicorn.
Yes.
Or the Grim Loblin. And so it just depends on which one. So depending on which car, you get to see something different.
That's beautiful.
As the individual cars rejoin the same path behind the mystery cart, Mabel then takes her grappling hook, because Mabel's got her grappling hook.
Always.
And one by one wrangles the cars back in line. And I'm thinking, like, you feel that puff of air like you feel on when the corks pop in Philharmagic.
Magic, yeah.
Or when Chili shoots the spikes over there and boom, zooms past your hair. You
Puffs
hear
of
a
air.
clang.
Yeah.
You feel a jolt.
Smart.
And all the cars, they start to zoom in back together. And now you're in that one line.
That's brilliant.
As Mabel's got you all back together again, fully assembled. The ride vehicle comes to a stop along Lake Gravity Falls. Madeline and Dipper check to make sure everyone's okay. Mabel asks if we lost Bill, and then suddenly we can hear Bill's disembodied voice announcing, "You can't run from me. Tremble in fear as I found my most powerful vessel ever." And as he's talking, we see some of those projected light effects on the water of Lake Gravity Falls before they dissipate into the darkness below. And then suddenly the head of the Gobblewonker, which is their version of the Loch Ness Monster, erupts out of the waters of Lake Gravity Falls. And that's where you get your picture.
Where you least expect it.
When you least expect it, because all of a sudden, boom, like
You expect it with
picture like that head of the dinosaur that pops out in Jurassic Park, the ride.
Yeah.
Something like that, but like in the dark.
I like it.
Yes.
It's a more candid.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I like that. That's awesome.
So Mabel and Dipper scream, "Gobblewonker!" We speed away, and around us, the area starts to shift and change into that 2D world of the Nightmare Realm via projection mapping. As we hear Bill talking about how he's going to take over Gravity Falls with an army of hinch maniacs, which are interdimensional demons that are criminals.
I love these days.
No, they're awesome, dude.
There's
they're
teeth.
Awesome.
There's 8-Ball. Xantho. And 8-Ball actually has 8 balls for eyes.
Eli, you would love this show. I seriously, you got to watch it.
Okay.
It's
So now
beautiful.
you're in the Nightmare Realm, and you're seeing all these weird things like the Pyramid, and you see Rumble McSkirmish, which is like
Eli, the pyramid.
Yeah.
Pyramid.
Pyramid.
And Rumble McSkirmish, picture a Street Fighter character come to life.
Yes.
But he's
Yes.
pixelated, and he just wants to beat up everybody. And so you're seeing all these crazy things in there.
Do you have the boy band in there somewhere?
Oh, dude, that would be a perfect. I didn't put the boy
They got
band.
a boy band in there.
There's a boy band, a clone group boy band.
Yes.
That Mabel raises.
It's amazing,
It
dude.
is amazing.
It is amazing, the boy band.
Oh my God.
So now we're being chased by all these hinch maniacs. Dipper spots a portal potty up ahead and tells Seuss to floor it as we escape the Nightmare Realm and enter back into the town of Gravity Falls near the cemetery, which is where Robbie's parents own that
Yes.
cemetery. Mabel tells Dipper to hurry and read a spell that will trap Bill back in his own dimension, and Dipper hurriedly flips through the pages of the journal to read a spell. And as he reads it, suddenly the ground starts breaking apart and eerie green light shoots out and zombie hands and heads begin rising from the grave in front of us.
Oh, snap.
And I'm thinking like real effects in front of you, screens in the background.
That's
You see
awesome.
the real zombie.
good stuff.
Yes.
A little bit of scary and
yeah.
stuff in that. I love it. I
And
love
Dipper
it.
screams, "Oh no, I did the wrong spell." And Mabel's like, "Tell me you didn't raise the dead again." And triumphantly.
Again.
Because he's done this
Because he's
before.
Dipper. Yeah, it's again. Of course he did it
Wild.
before.
So triumphantly out of nowhere, Grunkle Stan appears on the scene with his trusty baseball bat and starts taking out the zombie. He's like, "Get out of here, kids!" And then we speed away and we go through another portal potty, taking us back inside the mystery shack, this time via the bathroom, because I'm figuring the portal potties all connect back in
Yes.
to the bathroom of the mystery shack. So now we're inside. Everyone breathes a sigh of relief as we're all safe and sound. We see Dipper and Mabel are no longer in the mystery cart ahead, but on screen in the mystery shack museum, welcoming us back to the shack in safety. And as they're sitting there congratulating us, they're like, "Where's Uncle Stan? I hope he's okay with all this." Suddenly, one of the exhibits behind them comes to life: the Sasquatch.
The what?
Sasquatch.
Basically a big stuffed Bigfoot, but in his jockey short underwear.
Sasquatch.
He begins to come to
Dude,
life.
it's awesome. It's awesome, dude. You gotta watch the show.
Tell me the name. Is it Sasquatch?
Sasquatch. No, it's exactly what you hear.
Sasquatch.
I guarantee it's exactly what you gotta watch the show.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yes.
That's exactly what it is. Exactly what you think.
I'm impressed with what you set up. I'm just, when you throw out the names, and I haven't seen the cartoon.
And the second season, to me, is better than the first season.
I agree with you, Danny.
Yeah.
It's absolutely brilliant. Brilliant.
To the list.
And it's Disney. That's the crazy part. It's Disney. I love it.
Disney on something else sound like for that.
So the Sasquatch comes to life. And now the familiar voice of Bill can be heard as he laughs maniacally, setting off towards the Pine Twins, cornering him, finally pronouncing his revenge. And just as the Sasquatch is about ready to get...
Oh, my God.
And we're still moving at this point in time. Now, like, normally for these scenes, we stop. We're moving along.
I love it because just when you think the ride is over,
right?
Sasquatch.
You
got Sasquatch.
I was trying to think. I was like, what could... And I researched it. And Sasquatch never came to life, but I'm like, why not? I want to bring Sasquatch.
Why not?
Dude, anything can happen in Gravity Falls.
That's right.
No, don't let Sasquatch. Sasquatch's testicles drop in Gravity Falls. That'd be bad.
No, it done did.
He old did if that's
he
what
met
happened.
the Manitors. But anyway, go ahead.
Oh,
sorry.
yeah.
No,
come at me, bro.
That's the Abominable Bro Man.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. I'm going for the...
Who is a man?
So
just for the tester, bro.
Just as the Sasquatch, inhabited by Bill, starts laughing maniacally about how he's going to destroy the twins, out of nowhere, Wendy Corduroy shows up.
Oh,
Wendy Corduroy.
I'll explain in a second.
Yes.
He shows up, wrestles Sasquatch to the ground, and throws him to the window into the next room. Now, Wendy Corduroy is a So the most manly person in Gravity Falls is a lumberjack. Now, his name escapes me. His last name's Corduroy. And he has this whole family. He's just manly. Like when Dipper's like having trouble with his manliness, like he squeezes a little thing to test his manliness, and his card comes out cutie patootie. This guy squeezes it, and he's off the charts. Like he's just manly, and he teaches his daughter.
Archibald.
There you go.
Yes.
And he teaches his daughter, so she's handy with an axe. She can climb trees. She's the coolest, most kick-ass girl in
Archibald's daughter.
Gravity Falls.
Yes. Yeah.
And she's
Corduroy.
Voiced by the girl who did Velma in the remake of the Scooby-Doo.
Oh, yeah.
Linda
Cardinale.
There you go.
She's hot.
Right.
Yeah.
That's who she's voiced by. So she comes to the room,
Beautiful.
boom, knocks him through the window. As we're coming around the corner, we see the Sasquatch rise to his feet. And then just as he's about to set his sights back on Wendy to mix it up again, who enters the room covered in zombie guts but Grunkle Stan.
Grunkle Stan up in that
Grunkle Stan always does it.
He lands a shot right across that jaw of the Sasquatch, separating that stuffed head from its body. Stuffing goes everywhere. The
feathers everywhere. It's craziness. Insanity.
What is that name? I lose it. Okay.
Through projection down, you see
it's beautiful.
Bill Cipher. He leaves the body of the Sasquatch.
Sasquatch, yes.
He sets his eye on Grunkle Stan, and as he's about to charge, lights flicker and the room shakes as Dipper can be heard chanting a spell from General Number 3, and boom, Bill Cipher starts screaming as he starts glitching out before disappearing back into the mindscape. Grunkle Stan, Dipper, Mabel, Wendy, all of them wave goodbye, wish us well, hope we visit Gravity Falls again, and Grunkle Stan reminds us of all the great items we can purchase in the gift shop.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course. That is awesome.
Thank you.
Wow.
Hold up. Now you got to go to vehicle unload. You exit into the mystery shack gift shop. And then I got to give Lily all the credit on this.
Yes.
One. So in the Mystery Shack gift shop, you can purchase snacks including cheese boodles.
Yes.
From the show. Pit cola.
You got to watch the show. Yes.
Pit cola. It's like peach cola, but without the pit.
Without the pit.
Toffee peanuts. And the merch would include Mystery Shack license plates, like they showed in the show.
Yes.
But also, this was Lily's idea, stuffed waddles. You have to have your own little cute little waddles that you can take home. Question mark t-shirts, Gravity Falls book series included.
I would buy a question mark t-shirt.
And of course, the entire series of Gravity Falls on Blu-ray.
Of course.
You got to watch the show.
I'm adding that to the clone. I started that.
I love Gravity Falls.
I'm sold. The names alone, you did that.
Dude, it's the most out there awesomeness episode, cartoon series that Disney's ever put out. It's just risky, whatever. It's just the most beautiful thing ever crafted.
Yes.
I feel like I'm going to be watching this tonight instead of the Super Bowl.
No, do it. Dude, they have a whole episode where they're just free falling through a black hole.
Yes.
They're just free falling through a black hole.
I wanted to get that in there, but I'm like, I'm cheating at that point in time because I already have the trackless ride system going on where the cars can separate and come back together.
To be fair, there's so much that you can pull from. So, I mean, if the black hole gets eliminated, it's okay because it's just... I mean,
because what's most important?
The Manitours.
Seeing the creatures of Gravity Falls. And that's what I had to settle upon.
That's really impressive because one of the things that worried me about doing the Gargoyles ride was just the fact of the names. I mean, I like the cartoon, don't get me wrong, but it was like, the names were kind of, they're kind of weird. But I've never seen this cartoon before, I'm not lying. But just the sake of the names alone, I was like, I want a piece of that.
Look,
Pitch Maniacs.
Look, I don't know, if they ever come out with this ride, I would wake up. I would stay up the night before drinking in order to ride that ride the next morning.
Oh, the visuals alone,
dude. Yes,
that's crazy.
I mean, the Manitours itself hooked me. The Manitours are awesome.
Yes, they are. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this. And this was again a Lily idea, and I jotted it down. I forgot to mention it. Her idea was in the queue because you know how in the show there's that. Was it Candy? Is the one that collects pamphlets. Yes. All the different little tourist traps in and around the area. Lily's like, in the queue, we got to have a pamphlet. She's 9. my daughter's 9. She's like, in the queue, we have to have a pamphlet that tells everybody about all the creatures they're going to see in Gravity Falls to kind of set it up.
Oh, no, I like that. I love that.
I think it's a great idea. You have a pamphlet that shows off what all the different exhibits are.
I love that.
So many times you go in these queues and people are like, oh yeah, you want to see the queue? Go onto your phone and access an app and then play this game. And
that's what they will do, right?
Yes,
that's what they will do.
I'd rather kind of like Indiana Jones when they used to hand you out something in paper and it gave you something to do in the queue.
They had the code thing. That's exactly the first thing I thought about.
It's more immersive. Props to her.
You're not. Exactly.
Well, it's tactile. You got something there you can read while you're in line.
Keep it.
It's a souvenir.
Yes.
It's free.
Yes.
No, I think that's brilliant.
Maybe have a cast member at the end of the shop sign it for you or something like that. Have a little
whatever you want.
Maybe a Grunkle Stan walk around. character.
There'll be meet and greets with the characters for sure. So
Holy
definitely.
crap.
Dude, after Gummy Bears, that's my next awesomest favorite cartoon Disney's ever put out. It's absolutely freaking amazing.
I love those shows. I love when you combine the supernatural. Muppet Babies was my favorite cartoon as a kid, bar none. Muppet Babies, Gravity Falls. That's what I always gravitate towards, and I'm more towards again a mystery and paranormal. But Muppet Babies, when you think back, they were the first ones to do parodies of Indiana Jones, Star Wars.
You're right.
War. Yeah,
swords.
You want to be a cartoonist? Cool. We're gonna do a show that where we show you how to be a cartoon. You want to be a newspaper editor or writer or whatever? We're gonna teach you how to do that.
Yeah.
It was really when I saw they did a remake of it's kind of like DuckTales. I watched one episode and I'm like, this seems a little too Disney Junior-ish. It's like, this isn't exactly the cartoon I remember. So, I kind of gravitate towards those kind of shows, which allow kids to really kind of, explore a world. And Gravity Falls, and when it comes to world building, endless. Like I said, half of what you heard, you won't find in the show. You'll find it in the journals and the books that Lily and I bought last night, and literally sat down at Mikimoto, and my daughter and I, my 9-year-old daughter and I, had a fun night, daddy-daughter night, picking out portal potties. Let's use the portal potties.
I like the portal potties.
Let's use the abominable bro-man, and let's use, and then we just conceptualized. And I had kind of like what Lee said with his kids. I had a blast.
That's awesome. But really, I was like, hey, come up with an idea that was kind of like a pullback to our youth.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but I think that's awesome that you guys, in some cases, pretty much took it to that point and then another step forward. I couldn't use Marvel stuff because Marvel wasn't bought by Disney at that point. So I was like, I knew that was going to be a stigma. But I read some stuff by hand, and she was like, Lizzie McGuire or this and that. Like, no, that's not animated. And she was like, well, I'm checking it out. So if I have to do a live action one, it's either that one or Zack and Cody.
No, I said at the beginning of the show, I said again, thank you for coming up with this idea. This allowed me and my daughter to have 2 weeks of bonding, a really great night. And then if she didn't have to go to choir today, her and I would have been working over the show, working over the idea before y'all got here. And I would have let her sit in on a little bit of this because a lot of this is her ideas. I mean, the whole idea of selling pit soda. I was like, holy
that's
cow,
brilliant.
That is unbelievable.
That is brilliant.
No, that's all. Like, I'm happy to have actually heard that because that's,
no, you have to watch it, Eli, and we can revisit Gravity Falls. If you haven't seen Gravity Falls, you have to, guys. It is over. It's no longer being written, but it exists on Disney Plus. Guys, great job all around. I mean, the creativity, just that's the crux of our show, right? Artistic Disney stuff.
It's been a while since
it's been a while. I think the last one we did was Black Panther. We did awesome with that. We're going to continue going with that in the next 300 episodes, man. It's going to be awesome. So hang along for the ride. We're going to talk about news. We're going to talk about everything else, but we're also going to get creative on a level because that's where we excel. And so, guys, we're going to tell you how to keep in touch with us in just a little bit. Well, guys, if you want to learn more about the Magic Our Way podcast, magicourway.com is the way to go. There you'll find our social media links, past episodes, and more. If you want to get in touch with us, you can do so through the following ways, especially if you want to share your cartoon Disney ideas. You can do this through this way. We got our show at magicourway.com email. You can leave a voicemail via SpeakPipe widget, which is right there on our homepage, or you can call or text us. I did say text us at 1815-WEEKEND is 185-MOWEEKEND 669-4226. And of course, we got a couple of guys to do things outside of the podcast. Eli does things with comics. Tell them what you got going on, sir.
Yes, sir. You know the story. It's all about the glory. You visit ivorycomics.com and you'll see artwork that I have for Project Geisha, Savages, and Molly Be Damned. Of course, there's a link to this podcast, so you never miss a beat. You can find me on Facebook.com, Eli H. Ivory. Project Geisha has a Facebook page, so Facebook.com/Project Geisha. Instagram, hanging around there too. You can find me there at eIvory504, and of course on Twitter. I'm still waiting for you, Chris Evans. How you doing? Still waiting for you. You can find me at Hancock 10166.
Come on, Captain America.
Come on, Cap.
Bring it.
Come on. I got a shield too.
Come on, man.
I'm waiting for you. So anytime you want to check some of that glory, you know that story. Thank you.
Awesome. And if you want to book a vacation and see any of these attractions that we have described, hopefully maybe in the future, I don't know, copyright Magic Our Way 2020. 2020 02 2020. 02/02/2020. There you go, palindrome.
02/02?
Book yes, 02/02. 02/02/2020.
Okay.
Book it with Lee. Lee, tell them how to book a vacation with you, sir.
Well, if you want to see that Handy Manny attraction, you just come to my house and see all the broken shit in my house. But if you want to book a vacation, you can call me at 832-431-1621. That's 832-SASCROTCH. Yeah, you had to put that one in there. 832-SASCRCH. Email me at lee@magicourway.com. Check out the Facebook page at facebook.com/Lastivica Travel. That's LASTOVICA Travel. Instagram, you can find me at You Got a Friend in Lee Travel. And if you do any of that, we'll get you hooked up and booked up with no
Scratchavica.
And guys, if you want to support the show as a whole, you can do so through the following ways. Buy some beignets on our homepage and support the show that way. Buy some clothing from our shop and represent the Weekend Nation wherever you go. Easiest way to support us, leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you download this show, whether it is Stitcher, Blueberry, Google Play Music, etc. Remember, we are part of the BS Podcast Network, whose motto is We Speak Our Minds, so you don't have to. So be sure to support our partners in podcasting over there. Also, guys, if you want a place in which you can speak your Disney mind without fear of retribution, join us in the Weekend Pleasure Island 33 Facebook group. There you will have a chance to interact with all of the famous Weekends, as well as Danny, Eli, Lee, and yours truly. And we thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to us to make it a part of your Disney fan life. We appreciate you. Love hearing from our listeners. All opinions always are welcome on the Magic Our Way podcast, so get in touch with us today. So, Weekends, ladies and gentlemen, we say Quaharini. My name is Kevin.
I'm Danny.
Magic out.
Let's say magic out. Magic out.
I have every intention of eating those bananas for breakfast, but I still somehow end up with tacos.
Xanatos, the fresh maker.
Hey, this is